Live on tape, it's Tailgate Talk here with Cali Oaks. I'm Randy Whitehouse, and we're talking about the Week 3 Class C football slate. We're going to start out with Oak Hill at Winslow at Poolin Field. Dirigo with the win over Winslow last week, so they're still looking for their first win at home, and Oak Hill undefeated. What we got for a matchup here?
We get the battle of the Raiders, and I think for the first time in recent memory, the blue side would be favored on the road against the black side. I mean, we've seen a lot of Oak Hill teams go up to Winslow and take it on the chin over the years, but this doesn't seem to be the case this year. The Raiders playing good ball, got a shutout last week against Telstar, which was to be expected, I suppose, and the week before, ending Yarmouth's long winning streak, not dethroning the champions, but certainly knocking them off and making a statement early in the season. The thing I like about Oak Hill is just the depth with the backfield, the depth on the offensive line. It's something you don't see with a lot of Class C schools. You're seeing a lot of smaller rosters this year, and that's something that bodes well for Oak Hill, especially in these warmer early season games. Right now, looking ahead to the forecast on Saturday, I think it's supposed to be warm. Day game up to Winslow, that certainly can't hurt Oak Hill's chances in that one. We've talked about teams having trouble going up to Winslow, but Dirigo certainly proved last week that it can be done. You can win on the road. You just minimize your mistakes and don't put anything else in anyone else's hands. And if Oak Hill does that, I think they'll be okay.
Oak Hill, the subject of this week's football feature, by the way, Friday football
Check
feature.
that
Just
out.
wanted to point that out. Lisbon at Winthrop, another matchup. A couple teams that I think desperately need a win for confidence, and if anything else.
Yeah, I think that's the word that came to my mind was desperation with this game, and I kind of asked myself, is it too early to be desperate in Week 3 if you're Lisbon and Winthrop? And I don't think so. You're Lisbon, you're 0-2. You're looking at 5 teams in the conference that are still 2-0, still undefeated. Only 8 teams going to the playoffs. Lisbon, kind of like Mountain Valley in Class B, in a position of, hopefully for them, getting some kids back this week, but they've had a couple of tough battles. Winthrop had a tough battle against a team that just kind of punched them in the mouth last week in Trape with a big offensive line and just a 1-2 punch out of the backfield, and they didn't really have any answers for it. Didn't really seem to have the confidence that they could run the ball either. I think that game plan will change a little bit against Lisbon. Lisbon's got some quick, shifty backs. It's one of those games that's going to be won up front, and the winner of it is going to have some momentum going into the second half of the schedule. The loser of it is going to be in a real tough spot, trying to get anything more than maybe a road playoff game at best.
Speaking of teams with momentum, Dirigo traveling to Poland. The Cougars 2-0 start, first time since they won the gold ball, I believe. And Poland, are they 0-2 now?
0-2 with a loss to Yarmouth. They kind of were the victim of Yarmouth's frustration from the first week. And I think Dirigo won a close one at Poland last year, so they go back to that scene. And a lot different look this year. They just seem to have some playmakers. They've got some weapons. I know I've taken some ribbing from them up there for underestimating them the first part of the season, and I won't be making that mistake this week. They're into a part of their schedule that looks actually more manageable, so Dirigo's got a chance to keep that momentum going. Spencer Trenoweth had a huge game on Saturday. It looked like to me, you were there, and Poland,
he can fly.
He can flat out fly, and Poland is just, again, I think we've said it for years, and I think Coach Ted Tibbetts would underscore it, that they just got to hold on to the football, and penalties and turnovers have cost them in key spots. I know cost them in this game last year is something they can't afford to have happen Friday night.
Other Class C game locally, Telstar hosts Old Orchard Beach. That wraps it up for this edition of Tailgate Talk. We hope you join us next week. For Cali Oaks, Randy Whitehouse. We'll see you on the field.